Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector's Edition review. Here I have the gold label Target exclusive Kite-Man on the left, and on the right we have the Dr. Midnight Platinum. So I found Kite-Man in Target, thankfully, didn't have to overpay. And then on the right we got Dr. Midnight. I got that from a pre-order, and they sent me the Platinum. I didn't really care if I got the Platinum or the regular, so I think it's awesome that I got the Platinum. But here's Kite-Man here. He's kind of dusty. I found him not too long ago, but he must have been on the shelf for a while. But as you can see, Batman Rogues. There's the art cart image, number 43. There's the barcode if you're still looking for him in store. And then Dr. Midnight here. Again, this is the Platinum. There's a few differences, but the box is pretty much identical besides the Platinum sticker. But there's the barcode if you're looking for him in store. But anyway, let's go ahead and open these guys up. Alright, got them out of the package. That took quite some time, but let's go ahead and take a look at their accessories. They both come with the new DC Studios logo. Kite-Man's a slightly better. Into the into the pile they go. They both come with an art card, of course. Here's a look at that. And then a look at the back as well. I always thought it was funny that Kite-Man's name was Charlie Brown. But, yeah, there's a read-up on both of those characters. Into the binder those go, rather. And something I like to do with my Platinum chases, I like to cut out the Platinum sticker. But again, I don't recommend doing this. If you do it, you could cut yourself, so do it at your own risk. Into the binder that one goes. But let's go ahead and take a look at their accessories. So I want to start off with Dr. Midnight. So Dr. Midnight here, he comes with an owl. This one's brown. And you know what? I need to get another light on this, because for some reason there's not a lot of light coming in right now. There we go. There's a little bit more light. But yeah, this is a brown owl. It has some yellow eyes on it. Looks pretty nice. Not sure where I'm going to put this in a display, but I do like when they give us little animals. And this one does have some dry brushing on the front as well. It's like a grayish beige color. So we got an owl. Stick him up there for now. And then hands-wise, he has fists on him right now, but they're more like wrestling fists, or they're kind of like this. And then he does come with a pair of holding hands, so you can hold something. Maybe if he wants to hold the owl. But, yeah. I think we've seen these hands before, but I'm not quite sure. They look like Batman hands, to be honest. And then we have two unique hands. He has a pointing right hand. It's kind of hard to see. Again, I think we've seen it before, but I'm not quite sure. And then we have a splayed out gesturing hand. Personally, I'd rather have two of these hands than a pointing hand, but that's just me. That's all of Midnight's accessories. Let's look at Kite-Man's. Kite-Man actually has quite a lot of accessories going on. So first things first, on the figure, he has a harness for his kite, and he has two different things he can put on that harness. So he can put on the rest of that pack there. So I do believe it goes in further, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah, that doesn't go in any further, so there's a gap there, at least for my particular copy. And then he has his kite, and this thing is about the same size as the figure. That's pretty cool. And then that clips in like so. And you might need a figure stand for him, but it looks good with the kite on. I do like it. And that does go on a little bit more better than this one does. But you can take the pack off if you don't want it, but he looks kind of naked without it. A bit strange if you ask me. And it's just a pressure fit. There's nothing pegged in on the pack, but you can peg stuff onto the pack. And my copy has some trouble standing, but he has a similar assortment of hands to Dr. Midnight. He has a splayed out hand. It's kind of creepy looking. And then he's got a thumbs up hand instead of a pointing hand. And then if I could get him to stand up. Yeah, this guy has trouble standing. It's just a result of the mold. There we go. He's got a pair of fisted hands, and what I don't like about these hands, any of them, they're green painted yellow. Instead of being molded yellow like the boots, they painted them yellow. I don't understand the choices they make in this line, I swear. And then he has two trigger finger grip hands. So if he wants to hold something, he can. So that's all of their accessories. The figures themselves, let's take a look. I think Kite-Man's less interesting, so we'll start with him. Other than the Harley Quinn show, I didn't really know much about Kite-Man until that show debuted. I haven't watched the latest season they made, but it's a good show. And while I do like this figure, I especially like his goggles. Trying to get a good look at those goggles. They actually painted some detail on the goggles so it looks like he's, flying through or gliding through, the city of Gotham or wherever. They did a good job on that. I really like how that turned out. And all the paint on this figure looks good too. None of it looks odd, out of place, or frayed. And his belt does continue all the way back behind the figure. They did a good job with this figure. I'm not going to go too much into articulation, but I will at least do the head. So, got a little bit of side to side. Can't look up too much. Can look down a little bit. But all the rest of the figure is the Blue Beetle Booster Gold Body. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing, outlandish or new here. And this pack does not get in the way of articulation whatsoever. And, we can put the kite on, and of course you can have him in flying poses and stuff. I'm only putting this on because it's easier to have him stand that way. And then if we come back here, we can take a look at the Platinum Dr. Midnight. I don't know if this is a different version of the character or just a different costume, but something I noticed immediately, which I really don't like, is the cape. The cape has no wire at all. That's right, the $35 figure, where the standard was to give them a wired cape. Now, it's just a cloth cape, no wire. Why am I spending an extra $8 to $10 on these collector's edition figures, and you can't give me a posable cape? Like, I'd rather go back to plastic at that point. I'd rather have a pre-posed cape than a cloth cape that can't actually do anything. It's just like, why? Like, why bother? Like, I have to add my own wire now? And the way they have this stitched, they actually stitched up the end here so that it's not easy to put in a wire. You would have to undo the stitching there just to feed one in. So I don't particularly like that they don't have a wire in them anymore. And what really pisses me off about this is that the most recent classic Batgirl figure, who is cheaper than this one by like $8, had a wire in her cloth good cape. Not to mention, it was two-toned. It was blue and yellow. And this one, the Platinum Chase, just a black cape, not two-toned, no wire. It's just like, why? Like, give me the damn wire. I'm paying extra money for it. Give it to me. Just annoys me. But the figure itself here, I believe, is mostly a reuse of the Batman and Robin figure, believe it or not. These legs definitely look like that Batman and Robin figure. The knee pads, I believe, are newly sculpted, though, because I think those ones had a design on them. But I'm pretty sure those are from Robin. But almost everything else is pretty much brand new here. Obviously, the torso here, the waist piece, the head, of course. I'm not sure if the cape is a new, design, but I'm pretty sure it ain't. And then these boots, which I think are the best part of this figure. I know, right? The shoes are the best part. What I like is just how it doesn't look like it's Mcfarlane articulation. Like where they have all of the articulation points, they kind of just blend into each other, and it's not easily noticeable. But, you still have that hinge here, and it can go up. And they actually covered the back part of the hinge, so while you can still move it, it's not as noticeable from that particular angle. Or, if you're going for like a kick pose. I think they did a really good job on those boots. And what I like that they did here on the Platinum is give him the green goggles rather than the blue ones. The green goggles really stand out well. They look nice. And do they phosphoresce? The torso phosphoresces, but the glasses not so much. Kite-Man back there glows a lot more. But yeah, I like this Dr. Midnight figure. Again, with the cape aside, I think the reuse here is pretty smart. Actually, it's very good reuse. I don't say that too often in this line. The back of the figure is not much home not much to write home about. Kind of reminds me of like an old school night outfit. Like if you're at a Ren fair and you just see people walking around, I feel like they'd dress up like this. What I don't understand is they added some like brown wash to this red part. It's kind of strange. Like there's nothing up here either. But the way the light hits the outfit, there's kind of like a shadow over here. And it's definitely not paint, now that I'm looking at it outside. But let's go into articulation here. So I already showed you what the feet can do. And then double jointed knees. God, this is stiff. That upper joint does not want to move. Let's try the other one. Okay, that one wants to move a bit more. There's what the leg can do. And then basically no swivel at all. Of course, he can go, full T-pose, slightly above. The arms are slightly bent, but that's fine. And then double jointed wise, yeah. He could probably touch his own shoulder. I just have it in a way so he can't. And then of course you got the wrist pegs here, which can go any which way. Not gonna go too much into that. And then the rotator cuff joint has a good range of movement. Although when I put the shoulder all the way up to its highest point, this kind of feels like it's gonna pop out. Yeah, not too big a fan of that. Torso wise, excellent ab crunch. That's actually pretty good. He can bend forward quite a bit. The arm's getting in the way. Yeah, he can bend forward a lot. That's surprising. Actually, you know what this color scheme reminds me of? Mickey Mouse. And then he can bend backward quite a bit too. So, yeah, really surprised by that crunch forward. We don't see that too often with Mcfarlane stuff. Side to side's good. And then you got the twist here and then the twist there. Can get you some really wacky positions. And then head sculpt wise, he can look up, he can look down, he can bend both ways. He has better head articulation than Kite-Man. Anyway, that's Dr. Midnight. I think besides the wire and this cape, he turned out pretty well. And he comes with an owl too. And that's good reuse. But it's time for size comparisons. So, Dr. Midnight here, he stands at just about 7 inches tall. And then Kite-Man, just a little bit over 7 inches, but 8.5 at the top of his kite. Let's go ahead and take a look at how they look next to the usual suspects here. I'll just... boop. Boop. And, they look pretty good next to everyone. They're about the same height as the Leader Class Optimus Prime over there and Samoa Joe. Yeah, they don't look too bad. They're not as tall as Arkham City Batman in the back there. I think they look good next to everyone. So, alright, there's Dr. Midnight back there with the rest of the JSA. Hourman. There's Rival, Hawkman, Supergirl. It's kind of hard to see him all the way back there. I've clearly run out of room on practically every shelf I have, so, him being there. But, it's nice to have a more complete JSA now. Hopefully we get a couple more to round them out, but we're pretty much good on JSA figures. I have no like big ones now, so he looks pretty good. Now with Kite-Man, I couldn't get him on a shelf, so because this kite is just hella big, but you can kind of see how he looks next to my Xbox as well as the Peacemaker figure. They're definitely he's shorter, so he'd be like the same height as Riddler there. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these figures. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.